Welcome to another edition of Lab to Market Live, where we talk about business and AI and how it's affecting you and all the new developments. As usual, we got Fuad Mia with us, back from BC, even though his fake background makes it look like he's still living that high life.
I wanted to see the green. Um, yeah,
Well, I mean, I want to be poolside too. I mean, I'm in the basement right now. You know, it's I'd rather be poolside as well. Um, So we're also doing a new thing with our backgrounds. I mean, normally we got the night sky going, but I'm like, we're doing more of these during the day. So let's switch it up a bit. So we put a what would you call these? A real fake place, Fuad? Because this
um,
castle does not exist. This is a Dolly generated interpretation of what a castle in the woods might look like.
we would call this creative places.
Creative places. I like it. So, what do we got this week? We have enhanced e-commerce analytics and why it's, more important than ever to use it. It's been an option for a number of years now. However, very few people are actually doing enhanced e-commerce analytics. A lot of them don't know how or know why. So we're gonna do a little bit of education on the hows and whys, and yeah, hopefully everyone walks away a little more informed on the topic. So, Fuad, why do we use enhanced e-commerce analytics?
In Universal Analytics, enhanced e-commerce was it would give you data such as if you are adding products to cart, you're removing products from cart, if you are actually adding your shipping information, payment information, um, if you are applying coupons and so much more, which is really how you engage with your cart, with your products um, before making a purchase. So it was really important to understand how products are being bought,
And
how
these
you
are these are dimensions that aren't running out of the box necessarily, correct?
not these right out of the box. The standard e-commerce analytics would give you, for example, how many did you sell of which product and so forth. Enhanced e-commerce would give you further detailed information such as what was the position of your product when a customer clicked for the detailed view. So you'd be able to understand the placement, the optimal placements for your product in relation to other products and so forth. So, and
Yeah, and
that's
it's just it's a better understanding of the journey. And I mean, we talk about the journey a lot in analytics and marketing, and I think people don't put enough value on that journey because knowing, what positioning moves what product is essential in making sure you're displaying the right things to the right audiences too.
100%. And enhanced e-commerce in universal analytics, while it enabled us to understand, create all these segments, and also we also saw capabilities of pushing some of these insights in form of actions into our campaigns directly natively. But with the jump of analytics 4, now that it's becoming completely events driven, you can also stream data versus batch, and data portability to smart warehouses are clicks away, and so much more possible. And now you can actually do a lot of reactive marketing and experiences, uh, which is not, I mean, yes, your batch analytics is still important to do your strategies and so forth, but connecting event analytics, that enables now much faster data ability to deliver personalized experiences.
And this has been a big topic for a number of years now, personalization, making sure that the shopping experience is unique to everyone. And not just unique to everyone, unique to the situations around them, be it environmental, be it preferences, be it things like that. I mean, I think a very rudimentary way we did this before was even just considering the weather and the messaging um, on a roofing site. I mean, that was one of the big ones for us was, that increased conversions because on a rainy day, chances are, the person at your website isn't thinking about, oh, the shingles are approaching their lifetime, usability. It's my roof is leaking. Help me. So, facilitating that journey, just so this is a micro example of that, but like facilitating that journey is critical of having streaming weather data and knowing where the customer is and what they're probably looking for at that moment just because of that.
And inventory data. I mean, let's say you have 10 products that's only left on the shelf. You sold 300 unexpectedly in the last 1 hour. Having that data action certain experiences on the customer end, such as only this many you have left, or also not oversells certain things.
Real urgency.
So now with Analytics 4, because of the portability of the data, now that we can actually build a smart warehouse, we can deliver experiences right in the front end, automate this inventory process. So again, your business efficiency and business cost is much more optimized.
Well, and I think it goes even into the supply chain a little there. I mean, if I'm suddenly having a run on, I don't know, backyard torches, because it's nice weather, people are getting together, they want some backyard torches. I know that I need to order, maybe several hundred more than I normally have in stock, just based on the data that I'm pulling off the website.
So there are many benefits to having, of course, more contextual data that you can drive value from your purchase journey. Now, with Google Analytics 4, you just have to create more events. Everything is events.
Hmm.
Whatever is important, you have to push that as an event. And then you have so many parameters that you can use to put more sub values to define that specific event that you
And,
want to.
and yeah, and really, like, what are we doing this for? Realistically, it's a lot of it is going to be machine learning and AI related, correct?
Well, let's go back then to that. Um, but before that, I just want to finish the data
Yeah, absolutely.
fundamental benefits of Analytics 4 and enhanced
Yeah,
e-commerce. Let's
definitely.
say.
I'm getting ahead of myself. Look, I'm always excited on the AI.
I mean, it just enables so much more your supply chain prediction, forecasting. You could actually share data with your uh, vendors, with people who are doing transportation, so that
Hmm.
everything becomes efficient. And doing that with Google Universal Analytics, where challenging, or it was available to Google Premium Analytics where you could connect to
Mm.
BigQuery only. Now that's been lifted. So anyone can leverage the um, the benefits that the technology bring right out of the box.
For anyone that's unaware, what is the big draw for having this data in BigQuery?
Well,
What is
um,
the attraction, I should say?
well, is the ability to marry one thing with another and then derive intelligence, from a 360 view. We know, for example, let's go back to e-commerce marketing. All these touch points that we have, customer service contact center touch points, refund touch points, post purchase I'm talking about, even before people are coming to your website from different places, offline, online campaigns, and all this other data that you want to correlate to see if there are any causations and so forth. As you mentioned, one could be very common is weather. Um,
Hmm.
uh, and your demand, perhaps from other statistical modeling, and you also want to look at supply. Putting all these things together, if they talk to each other, and then BigQuery ML is another product on BigQuery that you can use to drive predictions, forecasting. Um, how amazing is that? These kind of tools would be possible to large enterprises with very high computing processing power and so forth.
Hmm. Yes,
Now
definitely.
with the democratization of cloud and Google Analytics moving to Google Analytics, next generation analytics, that's really the power that we bring. in
So
table.
we're bringing that level of data analysis and efficiency, generation down to the smaller users, down to the SMBs out there.
Right, and I think we shouldn't forget about the other power, which is the automation within the analytics, insights automation that Google Analytics is giving through anomaly detection. In Universal Analytics, I would have to look if one of the sources providing me more value this week
Mm-hmm.
than other, any other given week, or if there's any anomaly, you'll have to look for that. Google Analytics 4 uses Bayesian models, to understand what are the some of the anomalies that you should focus on. You should look at what drove you more, better business outcomes versus they had forecasted, or what drove not as expected. And then it
Mm-hmm.
gives you a funnel of insights that you should look at. Well, let me see if I can share
So
my screen and quickly pull something here.
yeah, go ahead. So this is allowing smaller organizations. I have a web store selling, I don't know, tennis balls. Uh, I can now get these insights through the AI rather than having to have all these complicated data pipelines and BigQuery and all that. Like it is basically in the user facing platform, user being the business owner, that they can actually derive these insights without the complicated parts
You're
of it.
right. You're right. So the opportunities are tremendous without going to even BigQuery, and that would be your second step. But right out of the box, when you have these events that are being sent properly, you'd be able to get insights, automated insights right out of the box, where to look at. So I believe I'm sharing my screen, and you're looking at
I just have to put it up on the stage if it's ready.
it is.
Perfect. There we go.
What you're looking at is actually not confidential data. This is the Google online store data
Ah, gotcha.
that everyone has access to. Um, and these are automated insights where I can start my analysis from. Users from the default channel grouping referral were 92% more than predicted. That's a huge anomaly. I should know why this jump happened. Users from browser Android or view on website were 497% more than predicted.
Oh wow,
This
that's a UI and planning aspect there, right? You want to make sure that that's the best experience for them.
correct. And then this other from July 12th to 18th, revenue was 74% less than predicted overall.
Oh
What
wow.
happened there? So if I click on this, I'll be going to further more, drillable details.
Yeah, it'll
This
it'll drill down onto what the potential causes of that is, and is that AI driven as well?
this is definitely on the basis of the anomaly detection, and it's no secret what they do. They're using
Mm-hmm.
a Bayesian state space time series model, and they go furthermore how they actually derive refinements and so forth. They also use, as you can see, principal component analysis and so forth to come to this, this metrics that needs your attention to this anomalies detection. So very simple, but yet so much more powerful for
Well, it's not something the average person would go out there and do necessarily if it wasn't already put into this package.
right, 100%.
Well, that's
Um,
exciting.
yeah, and maybe I could share. Let me see. I could share again quickly the, some of the metrics that you'll be getting out of the box with enhanced a custom e-commerce analytics implementation. So I'm ready, Justin, if you want to put that up.
Perfect. There you go.
So here talked about add to carts that you wouldn't see with standard e-commerce analytics. Cart to view rate, how many people actually viewed the detail of your product page, and then they add it to the cart. Purchase to view rate, very, very important to understand which product has what kind of conversion rate from what stage of the funnel finally. And then now analytics will also allow you to do segmentation right from here to understand, these different variations that could take place in segmented audiences. Here, for example, I am looking at all users versus my predicted 20-day top spenders. And I can see that all users, the conversion rate for cut to view rate is 6.28% and 21.49% for my users that we defined as high predictable, high spenders. And then you can see actual conversion rate also almost 6 times better. Amazing stuff. And you'll be able to do a lot more analysis here. The dimensions are as you include them in terms of your custom events, other than the out of the box, they'll be available right here as well. So yes, it's tremendously powerful, Justin.
So in a practical sense, if you were an e-commerce shop owner and you were looking at these metrics, what is one practical action you can take based on any of those dimensions you just looked at? For example, I have an item that people are looking at, but they're not buying. What is your next step as a business owner based on this data?
Well, with a little bit more context, you'd probably be driving a couple of business actions. One, you'd be looking at the pricing. Um,
Hmm.
um, have they found another product in the journey that they added that product and removed this product? Then you'd be probably doing some pricing experimentation to see if that
Or even
changes.
messaging?
Absolutely.
Because
Um,
we've seen it in hundreds of stores where the description is subpar, and they could literally go to another website that just explained it better, and suddenly they've made a sale on the same product. So you can improve your
absolutely.
content. You can, yeah, and through experimentation, personalization, and things like that.
And you'd be able to also understand if anything else is influencing the behavior, such as its
Hmm.
position in respect to other products, um, whether it's time of day or certain specific advertisement that needs to be optimized because it's targeting the wrong audience versus another campaign that could be driving much qualitative audience.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I just want to kind of draw a picture for store owners and shop owners out there, like what you can do with analytics, because I feel like a lot of people, uh, they know they need analytics, they know it serves a purpose, but it's like, what next?
100%, 100%. I
and,
think
and and I think a lot of the what next is being like answered in GA4 because the AI is telling you what next, which is going to be a huge help for a lot of people.
yeah, and I think uh, analytics is going to be very, very important for businesses to drive the maximum efficiency,
What are,
maximum
what are,
reach.
what are we sitting at again? It's only 21% of businesses take data driven decisions. We got to raise that.
Yes, and I think a lot of the innovations that took place over the last couple of years, especially in the analytics world, it's really fascinating. It's exciting. I mean, being able to connect your web analytics, your app analytics, your all sorts of your other customer data, touch points, forecasting data, weather data, your social, economic, political. I mean, creativity is your limitation in terms of, whatever you need in order to understand your customers' touch points. And not only that, now with streaming analytics with other Google products, pops up this and that, BigQuery ML, you can actually you can actually deliver rich experience, personal experience.
I love the idea that something I do in a store can have a effect in some way by the time I get to the car. So if I buy a product that needs a little bit of explaining, by the time I reach my car, your analytics has told, the appropriate systems that I've made this purchase and send the additional information on that product, some resources. how to get started. And now we're taking, these SaaS models of treating a customer, because when you sign up for a SaaS, by the time you finish that process, you've got your welcome email, what to do next, and things like that. But if you can apply that to a physical space and give that rich experience right through the customer journey, I mean, that is golden. That is the definition of why you want that streaming data.
Well, that you just gave out the secret, right, Justin? So imagine.
Hey, I didn't tell anyone how to do any of it.
so, well, let's elaborate that a little bit more. We have a few more minutes. So imagine you're selling a hardware or a software, but if you have streaming analytics to that, and based on their usage, engagement, you can actually coach and guide their journey to the next step. Uh, uh, Gaming companies, if one user is failing again and again in a particular step versus the rest of the community, uh, you could actually guide them with those streaming analytics understanding and all the other factors.
In
How
fact, that was one of the keystones of the new PlayStation, was that if there was a certain part of the game where you're struggling with, it'll actually give you resources on how to get through that. Which you can apply that to real life in so many ways.
Yeah, and let's say you're selling a hardware with IoT connections with streaming analytics. Someone's having hard times unlocking their door, and they're the authorized user and so forth. Under, you could understand that immediately and guide them to get to the
And it's such rich experiences you could give people. I mean, like, it's getting over that struggle period, right? Because if you struggle with the product, you probably won't use it. Is the main part of it. So, like, that's a great example for even taking this to a hardware perspective.
So, I mean, from pricing optimization, it's stream analytics, meaning if you have only one left, if you want to give it at a reduced price or hike up the price, but having this dynamic ability now, and then take this to a bigger picture, meaning if you now share all of this data with the system, with your suppliers, with your, every other role players, suddenly you won't have to have trucks waiting. You won't have to have empty shelves. You won't have to have set customers, um, or fluctuation in pricing that are not necessarily optimal for everyone. So it could be much more smart in the entire ecosystem of not only e-commerce, but e-commerce is very very heavily relevant,
Hmm.
much more sophisticated, cost effective, efficient, and more profit, that is.
Let's talk supply chain in another episode. I think this is going to be a good one, because I think the holistic view of it comes from the factory, it gets to my supplier, it gets to the store, it gets in the hands of the customer, then we figure out what they're going to want next, and it all starts over again. I think that journey is fascinating, and I think it could be so much more efficient, and we can definitely help people out on understanding that. So that's going to make a great episode, I think.
Absolutely. Well, after tomorrow, we're continuing for a few more days to dive deeper into analytics. And we're going to focus next week into businesses becoming real time businesses, real time events
Ooh.
driven analytics businesses, providing rich experiences, not only marketing and customer, but also in operational efficiencies as well. And
Which
and
is so timely, and considering the financial climate right now, and supply chain issues and everything. So that's awesome.
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Justin. This was a
Oh,
great
thank you. I'm sure everyone learned so much more from you than me.
from both of us. And tomorrow, we're looking forward to learning so much more from Avinash Kaushik. And
Oh
so,
yes, that is going to be a
um,
great one.
so join us to dive deeper with us tomorrow into the future of analytics and analysts and the world with AI.
Perfect. If anyone has any questions on anything we've covered here today, feel free to reach out to me and Fawad on LinkedIn or our website, www.uclab.ai. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you. Bye.